How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Doing well, thank you.
Nice.
Where are
Where
you
are you?
calling from right now?
I'm in San Diego, California.
I'm lucky. I'm over here in Boston.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I'm originally from the East Coast.
Yeah. I know most of the members were from North Andover, just north of Boston.
So they all went to school. Well, three of the guys went to school together in North Andover, and I'm originally from outside Philadelphia.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I wanted to, talk a little bit about your latest single, Remember Me. That song really rips. Can you talk a little bit about the story behind the song?
Yeah. So we wrote that song a few years back. Julian and I. We were always the lead songwriters in the band. And we had gone through a lot, and you know we had gone through some stuff with our label and with our managers and just inner band turmoil. And it was kind of just writing about Remember Me. We were always the core. We were the genesis of where all the songs came from. And just kind of about, it's a little bit about like drinking the Kool-Aid. You get involved in with a major label, and you kind of drink the Kool-Aid, and you think you're hot shit or whatever because you're
Mm-hmm.
on a major label. And I always try and stay humble, but there's always that little bit where you're like, oh, I'm on this major label and I'm in a big touring band. And you just kind of have to ground yourself a little bit and realize none of us are innocent. And like don't drink the Kool-Aid or drink it, and just fess up to the fact that like that's who you are. But I think it was just kind of a coming of age for us, as far as we wanted to break out and be on our own, and not have people trying to dictate who we were as artists. And that's kind of a lot of what we've initiated in this new resurgence of the band, is us being the core creative force and being able to do the things we want creatively, not only in the music but production and video and art, and just having complete control without other forces trying to guide us to where they think we should be. So that's a little bit of a and it's kind of
Yeah,
a
that's a
broad
good rundown of
that
what it's
song.
about.
Yeah.
Well, I can definitely hear it in the song. It's heavy and a lot of grit to the vocals. So,
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a little bit of rage behind it. We were definitely frustrated, and we just kind of, it took a number of years for us to find this path that we're on now. But we're really excited about, um, the way people have reacted to the song, and that it's finally getting out there, because we've believed in some of this music we've created, and it'll be coming out over the next year. And I think people are really going to dig it.
yeah, and you started your own record label, Five Monkey. What was the experience like producing the music video?
Oh, the music video. I mean, it was interesting. I had met this guy Mowgli. He's a really cool creative. He's actually a musician himself. He does some really cool like sample based, like urban trip hop, hip hop kind of stuff. And he's just a super cool cat. And I was like, dude, I'd love to do a video with you. And it's pandemic, so it's like, well, what can we do during a pandemic? So we kind of
Exactly.
we had to get creative, and we found all these cool spaces to, even just in his house and around San Diego. We just kind of went around, and I was like, let's do some like layering, and just kind of like trip it out a little bit. And it was funny. He sent me the first edit, and it was just all strobe effect. And I was like, dude, I'm gonna have a seizure. Like, we need to do some more shots. So it took a couple of weeks of just kind of experimenting and doing different shots. Like the one behind you, that was literally us in like
Oh
an attic,
yeah.
pitch black, with a flashlight on my face. So we were just getting really creative with it, and I think he did an incredible job of pulling it together. Jules is in Vancouver right now, so he was sending footage from there. And it was, I mean, edit after edit just kept getting better. And by the end, we were like freaking out, like, this is so cool, like, I can't believe we pulled this off. So it
Yeah,
was
the
it was
end.
a really fun experience. I mean, it was just him and I with the camera. And and Julian and his buddy with the camera, and just that was it. Like, you know, we've done videos with like $100,000 budget, and this video had no budget, and we were just completely DIY, and we pulled it together, and I'm like super stoked about it.
Yeah, the end result is dope. That's crazy that there was no budget to it, because it looks completely professional.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we paid him some money to film and edit and everything, but I mean, outside of that, there was no budget for like anything else. And that's how we wanted to do it. It's the same with the recordings. Like, you know, we produced everything ourselves. I recorded all of the music and engineered and mixed and mastered all on our own, because we were sick of you know, letting people take the reins and not being totally 100% stoked about the finished product all the time, because, you know, people are going to do things the way they want to do them, because everyone has their flavor, you know. So to be able to completely control the product from inception to completion is so gratifying. And you know, it's and you know, we can't really like blame anyone else on if it's not a good product. Like, you know, there's a little bit of pressure involved with that. It's like, this is my stamp on it, so like I want it to be perfect. And you know, you can go over the mix 1,000 times and not be happy with it, but eventually you got to put it out into the wild. And we're really stoked about how the product came out. So
That's awesome. And you know, what are your plans for the label in the coming year?
So the label was something we kind of came up with years back. We were working, Julian and I had, when the band was kind of on hiatus, we had moved to LA, and we were working with other artists and developing artists and writing for other artists and producing other artists and ourselves. And we had some little side projects we were working on and doing music for TV and film and trailer music, stuff like that. And we thought, well, why don't we just have our own label and we'll put some of these artists under there. And things kind of changed and we drifted apart a little, but we reconnected and we wanted to bring the label back. And we were like, let's just launch this new iteration of Rev Theory on 5 Monkey, and that'll be the first thing. But we definitely plan to release some of our other kind of side projects on there and bring on some other artists that we like, and try and develop new young artists, and continue that kind of legacy that we created in LA. But it's exciting just to launch this project and to get such a good reception.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, there's so many talented bands out there, but it's like you kind of have to dig for them, because you know, mainstream radio doesn't really focus on, you know, quality rock bands these days.
For sure. And you know what we learned and what we talk about, kind of the feeling of Remember Me, is a lot of people in the industry are stuck in this kind of archaic way of releasing music and not accepting of the true nature of how streaming has affected music, and social media has affected the longevity of releases. So everybody, you know, label traditionally is like, release a single, put out a record. But once you put out a record, there's another record next week and people kind of forget about it. So we, you know, we'd like to kind of rethink the model of how music is released and constantly be creating and constantly be releasing new content. And since we can do that on our own, that's what our plan is. And we'd like to bring on other artists to, you know, kind of share that model. And, you know, the other thing is, when you sign with labels, is they want to take a huge chunk of what you make. And we've surrounded ourselves with a team that believes that, you know, the artist should really get the lion's share of, you know, their creation. I mean, you know, that's the thing. Like, you know, you create something, you should take a huge part of it and not lose all of that. So, you know, we want to share that model with other artists and use this, what we're doing now, as kind of the template to, you know, bring other people on and kind of recreate how, you know, music and rock music is released.
No, I think that's great. Yeah, I think, you know, the industry is constantly evolving, but it definitely needs to evolve in a way where it's benefiting the artists and
Yeah.
their work is not being stolen, you know,
Right. I mean,
by
you
streaming
see,
platforms.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's tough, but I mean, it's the reality. Streaming is the reality. So, you know, it's good to fight to so that artists get, you know, what they deserve from those platforms. But I mean, the reality is, you know, first it was Napster back in the day,
Oh
and then
yeah, LimeWire.
yeah, live exactly. LimeWire. And it's just like it's gonna happen. It's just too easy now for people to, you know, pirate music or whatever. So, you know, it's probably better to join forces with these companies than to shun them. So we're realizing that, and you know, we think it's just you got to rethink your model. You got to, you know, you got to change with the times. And some people are reluctant to do that, and we felt that a lot being in the industry and around like major labels and heavy hitters, that they're kind of stuck in this way of thinking, and you just got to break the mold. And you see people doing it. You know, a lot of people we're meeting that we're surrounding ourselves with have this same type of thinking. But still, it's hard to do something that's unproven, to take that chance. But you know, we're willing to do that. So hopefully, you know, it works out for the best.
I hope so. And I wanted to ask you, you know, with the passing of Eddie Van Halen, did he inspire you growing up, or what? Did you have any
Oh,
favorite songs by him?
he's Van Halen. Eddie Van Halen's a legend. I mean, like, what a loss to music, and you know, he had been struggling a while with his sickness, and it's just a shame. You know, I think a lot of people probably felt it coming, but it's just really, it's still hard to lose someone so epic. Um, and I actually I had a chance encounter with him when we were
Huh.
making our record Justice. We recorded at Henson Studios in Los Angeles, and one day I was walking into the studio, and someone was in front of me, and they opened the door to the studio. Just to be in the presence of a legend like that is awesome. Because yeah, what the case was is Eddie and David Lee Roth were doing some music together in Henson. I don't know if they were, you know, they kind of tried to bring it back a little bit. So we ran into them in the studio, but yeah, it's sad that he's gone, but you know, I celebrate his life and his all his work. He's incredible. He's such an incredible guitar player.
Absolutely, yeah. I know it definitely affected a lot of people. When I heard about it, I was like, wow, I can't believe that, you know, so many amazing artists have, you know, passed away in the past year.
Yeah,
2020 is just like, ugh, awful year for everything.
I know, rough stuff. It's tough when you lose. You know, we've lost so many amazing artists in the recent years. You know, from Cornell to David Bowie to now Eddie Van Halen. So, um, oh, and to answer your question before, I'd say "Hot for Teacher." That's one of my favorites.
Oh yeah. That's a
I
good
love that.
one.
I love that song. I love that video. It's so dope.
So do you guys have you know, hopes to go on tour next year? You know,
Yeah.
or whenever you know, live music can happen again?
All right. Yeah, we've definitely been talking about it. I'd love to get back on the stage. I'd love to spread my wings as a lead vocalist. I like to move around on the stage. If you've ever seen me play as a bass player, I get a little crazy up there. And I think to be free of an instrument and just be singing would be a lot of fun. Um, so I think, you know, we've been talking about it, and just I actually had a call with a booking agent um, yesterday. So we're definitely starting to look forward to next year to possibly hitting the road and playing some shows and servicing some of these markets that have been really good to us, and the people that are itching to see us play and just to get out and see shows in general. I mean, I'm itching to go to a show. I was bummed. There were
I
a
am
couple.
too.
Yeah, there were. I was bummed because this year there were a bunch of shows I wanted to go to, and unfortunately that didn't happen. But you know, hopefully next year is a little better, and we can get out there and see some shows and play some shows.
Absolutely. Yeah, and a lot of people have responded positively to your vocals, so that must make you feel amazing.
Yeah, it feels really good. You know, obviously there's people that are saying, "Where's Rich? Where's Rich?" And um, you know, it's tough. You know, it's we're trying to rebrand. And you know, I've always been, you know, the backup vocalist and done some leads and sang on a lot of the demos because you know Julian and I were writing the songs, and you know, it's tough to fill those shoes. And Rich was an awesome performer and had an incredible voice, but you know, I have my own, you know, niche where, you know, I have my own flavor, and um, I like to think of myself as a very dynamic vocalist. And I think that's going to open the door for us to do some more experimental music, and try some new things that, you know, we might not have gone for in the past. We have some really cool songs that we've recorded and some really cool songs in the works, and I'm excited to get those finished and out and see and show people what I can do and what Julian and I can do as songwriters and producers. So yeah, it feels good. You know, it's tough to rebrand yourself. It's been a road to like really get stuff out there and have people, you know, welcome it. But yeah, the response has been incredible, and I'm really excited about that.
Awesome. And do you think the new songs will come out next year or possibly later this year?
Yeah, so I think this single we're gonna ride for a little bit. We have a really cool follow-up single that I'm super stoked about, and it's very apropos for what's going on in the world, and I think people are gonna really gravitate to it. I'm excited. We've had it for a little bit, and I still love the song. Um, I've heard these songs a million times, having written and produced them, and just listening to them over and over, and I still love them. So I think
That's always a plus,
yeah.
where
I
you don't
mean,
get sick of your own song.
yeah, if you get sick of it, it's like, well, maybe the song's not so good. So I still love listening to these songs. So I think that says something. But yeah, we'll probably do a follow up, and then we have a couple other songs in the pipeline, and we plan to kind of bundle it as a full album sometime next year. And no official, some really cool artwork set up for the album. So I'm excited about that. And yeah, there's more cool stuff to come. Some more collaborations. I have some guest vocalists on a couple tracks, so that'll be cool.
Oh, exciting.
Yeah.
I'll have to wait and see who they are.
Yeah, we're trying to collaborate with just people we know that are great artists and that are friends of ours. So you know, we worked with Violent Idols. They did a remix of one of our tracks, and we're gonna release some more stuff with them, and some other artists that we're friends with. We're gonna bring into the mix. So it's fun. It's fun to collaborate with people that you're friends with.
Oh, absolutely. Well, that's really cool. I'm looking forward to see what you guys have coming up.
Yeah.
And is there anything else you want to mention before we sign off?
I want to say thanks for taking the time, and thank you everyone out there for supporting us now and over the years. And stay safe, be careful, and you know, keep rocking.
Absolutely. Don't forget to rock.
Yeah, don't forget to rock.
Well, thanks so much, Matty. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you.